Hey guys, and welcome back to the Movie-Club Emporium. And this week we are saying goodbye. It's the end of an era. Until we see how much money it does. This is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and after 29 years, this is being touted as the final Mission Impossible movie. Uh, Stemming all the way back to Brian De Palma's first, and I gotta tell you, going into this film, I uh, I love the Mission Impossible movies. I think for a franchise that's gone on this long, um, with the same actor, and now the last how many movies now with the same uh, stars and director, uh, to have now 6, 7, or 8 films in this action franchise, where even the one that's touted as the worst one, which may be something that Nick and I have to rank someday. I'm wondering if it'd be the same ranking. But the one generally touted as the worst one, which is Mission Impossible 2, is still freaking awesome. So, like, what a fantastic franchise. And after the setup of the last movie, was really curious what we were going to be doing to kind of say goodbye. And this movie, as a ending to a franchise that embraces all 30, almost 30 years of its self, I think it does a fantastic job. This movie has a lot of callbacks that aren't just necessarily you remember this, but definitely do feel vital to the story. When they last movie where they brought back Kittredge's character from the first movie, um, he ends up having quite a role in this movie. There's even a son of, spoiler alert, that I won't get into, that doesn't feel forced. The big ones you kind of see in the trailer, the marketing, is the actor who played the guy in charge of the room, the vault in the first Mission Impossible movie, who they talk about gets shipped off to the middle of nowhere because of the whole like ceiling dangle. That character comes back up, and it's not played for hey, you remember this guy, but he actually, it's not a cameo. It really is quite a substantial character for the movie. Even something in as much as in Mission Impossible 3, well, when the the MacGuffin of that movie, which was always kind of like never really expounded upon about what it was, is brought back into this movie and kind of given an explanation and kind of ties this movie back to those original films. Again, it's done very masterfully. Now I talked about the. I'm trying to do this so we don't get into too many spoilers. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Um, the character of that actor, from the first movie not being a cameo. There are a lot of cameos in this movie. A lot of familiar faces pop up. Whether it's um, Nick Offerman shows up in probably the second least, the second most stressful bout of government I've seen him in the last couple of years after Civil War. Um, the actor Holt, I can't remember his name, from Manhunter. Uh, Angela Bassett is back. Again, like I said, Kittredge. Um, the one that's the most off, I don't want to say off-putting, but weird. And she's fantastic in the movie. Um, but it's hard to see if you know Ted Lasso, the owner of the Richmond Greyhounds, being this like American uh, aircraft carrier captain, with her doing this American accent, which is a good, it's a fine enough American accent, but it's just so weird because She's totally like the lady from Ted Lasso. Um, but again, this and then the guys who have been in these movies for a while, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg are both fantastic and actually bring uh, a lot of the emotional rocks of this movie. Uh, Esai Morales as the villain, I am so happy to see him get big stuff. I know he did a lot of TV for a while. He's great as this weird, like, not exactly like Bond villain, but he definitely rides a line, and he rides it pitch perfect. And then again, Tom Cruise. I mean, people say like he's kind of like the last movie star of that era because he's the last big one. Um, man, and I know with like something like this franchise, the second Top Gun movie, which kind of I did not expect to be as good as it was. It's hard to argue that. And in this movie, he's phenomenal. He knows this character. He plays this character well. He knows when this character needs to be like an action Terminator. He knows when he needs to play him as human as possible, and he does that well. And what's so weird is like you've seen the videos and stuff where they talk about the real stuff he does in this movie because he's insane. Whether it's the Halo jump or the climbing the Dubai Tower or whatever. This movie, he's like they're like dog fighting on these old antique airplanes, and you can like literally see him doing it, and like it's unflattering because we're up in the air like fighting on the outside of an airplane, and wind and G-force and stuff like that. But everything he does it all so realistically, and like he has these big moments that when stuff in the movie does happen, that is fantastical for Ethan Hunt to do. You're literally in the back of your mind going, did Tom Cruise fire himself out of a torpedo cannon from the bottom of the ocean in the Bering Strait? And then, like, tumble down, like, in a submarine dogfight? Like, did that happen? Did he really do that? Was he in a sunken submarine and, like, you know, rolling around with atomic weapons? Like, did that happen? Did he do that? He might have done that. It's Tom Cruise. He might have done that. Um, you just don't know. And it makes that when those big action set pieces happen, it makes them way more fun. Um, it this movie is long. I will tell you that. It's 2 hours and 50 minutes. I will say it is paced very well. Um, Amber said she felt the length of it mostly because she got some phone calls from work related stuff going on toward the beginning, and so she was kind of taken out of it at kind of like some of the exposition parts. But I feel like it moves like it doesn't have that something where you're sitting around almost 3 hours and you're like kind of looking at your watch like let's go. I feel like the movie is paced very well, and you're hitting all these beats. It's almost nonstop. But when they do stuff, you do get a lot of. It's not exposition notes, but you actually get a lot of kind of character moments. And there's a lot of humor in the movie too. And that's always kind of has been with this franchise. Not necessarily like the James Bond levels of humor, where it's very like double entendre and like cheeky, but just kind of like some throwaway lines that are like that's funny. Um, some things that Tom Cruise does where he works those Tom Cruise, his facial expressions that make you kind of laugh. Uh, it is starting to like I know he's made of like whatever vibranium whatever it is he's timeless. This movie you do get to see you do kind of start to see some age. And I think it's because he went with a longer hair. Like he was like, you know what I want to bring back from Mission Impossible 2, and they're like that sick Limp Biscuit cover of the theme song. He's like, no, which is sadly missing. But like longer hair, and at this stage, it for me, he kind of looks goofy. It almost comes across at a certain points with it where he has it where it almost feels like a hey my fellow dudes, hey fellow teenagers. But again, the action is so well paced. All these set pieces are so well done. You're never lost about where you're going, where you are. You know what's going on. You know you're finding out who is who. Um, you know, at first with the first release of that movie, the first part of this movie, Dead Reckoning, when they're like, "Oh, the villain's gonna be kind of AI," it was like, oh, okay. I mean, and now with certain things going on, how the AI has corrupted a lot of stuff, it is fantastical, but you're with it. The only thing to me that is really dropped, sadly, is at the very beginning there's a mention of like this um kind of the AI through the internet has kind of created this doomsday cult um who call themselves like sons of the atom and stuff like that, and you see a couple of snippets here and then it's kind of not talked about at all until we need like somebody to try to do something bad that you didn't see coming. And even then it's just like that person will do that, and you're like, oh, in your mind you're like, oh, it's probably part of that cult. But like I feel like that to me is like you kind of tease like worldwide cult, doomsday cult. I kind of wanted a little more of that. Again, it's a 3 hour movie, so I get why we don't get more of that. But that's kind of the only real like thread of the movie that just kind of vanishes for a bit until it pops up when it's kind of convenient. And again, all the big names in it are fantastic. All the action pieces are fantastic. And if this is the final Mission Impossible movie, what a franchise! Again, like I said, the what is what is widely believed to be the worst of these movies is a fantastic John Woo movie. Uh, and if you're, of a certain age, man, that Limp Bizkit Mission Impossible riff is kind of awesome. I know. I know you're clicking off right now. I get it, but it is kind of awesome. I even very on my deepest, darkest secret of days will tell you that I kind of like that Metallica song. I know. I know. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. But what a great franchise and what a great send off to this franchise. Um, Especially when you think of actor owned franchises that kind of kept going well beyond their expiration date. Um, you know, Unfortunately, things like the Rambo franchise, some might say the Rocky franchise. Not to or the not to throw stones at Stallone, but I think this would be if this is the end. This is a perfect franchise, a perfect great action franchise. Um, all the movies are bangers, and I think it's a well send off for this character and for kind of to Tom Cruise to kind of sunset this stage of his acting career. What a way to go out! So I highly recommend seeing um, the Final Reckoning, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. If I would honestly recommend going back and just revisiting the entire franchise up to it. Um, but you can find videos on YouTube. I found one. I think IGN did that I showed Amber because she wasn't gonna sit down and rewatch all these movies. Um, I was surprised I got her to go with me to watch this one. So win for even bigger win for Tom Cruise. He got an extra ticket sale uh, where nobody expected it. So next week, oh boy. So next Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 31st, Nick and I will be live over at our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/the Movie Club Emporium. And we're going to be talking about 90s virtual reality movies. It's going to be an absolute blast. What a weird time for what we all thought virtual reality was going to be. And we got some wild, weird movies out of it. So we're going to be talking about those. And then coming up on Sunday, I have a few options. And this is where we try to talk about engagement, page engagement. So if you could, in the comments below this video, let me know, because I really want us to bring her back, because I really like Talk to Me a lot. I think it'll be another fun one that Nick and I could both review, because he hated Talk to Me. I loved it, so that would be interesting to talk about. It's going to be trying to find it near me because of my geographical restrictions to movies. Because it sucks out here in the middle of nowhere. Also, Final Destination Bloodline is floating around. I'm surprised our theater has that. I just didn't know how much of a review that would be. Like, oh, the one kill was cool. Like, but if it's something you guys want to talk about, we'll definitely talk about that. I'm also willing to just go ahead and throw up the live from Saturday night. Get it, see if I can get it cut together. Stay up late Saturday night and get that cut together and put up here on YouTube for Sunday. And you know what would make it so much easier for all of us to enjoy those lives is we're 12 away. 12 subscribers away from being able to live stream on YouTube. So if you're here on YouTube, but you don't join us over on Twitch, share us with your friends. Share and like these videos. Let's get them bumped up. Let's get some more subscribers. And we can do that here too. Then you don't have to go to a second page. It'll be so much easier on you guys. It'll be more fun for us to grow. And so make sure you're liking and sharing. And make sure you go to see the new Mission Impossible, because it rules and it's fun seeing these movies like this. And we will see you guys hopefully Saturday night, twitch.tv/Movie Club Emporium. If not, shame on you, but also I will see you guys next Sunday here. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. And until then, we will talk to you guys next time. Bye.